What if I told you most men today are trapped in silent failure, not for lack of skill, but for want of mental fortitude? We scroll, compare, envy, then wonder why we feel stuck, weak, lost. We chase comfort, yet burn out. We dodge pain but suffer daily. The brutal truth, comfort is slowly killing us. Struggle, though harsh, holds the seeds of real power. Here's the kicker. Ancient Stoics knew this long before smartphones, social media, or self-help books. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic sage, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Grasp this, and you'll unlock strength." This isn't just a quote, it's a weapon, a mindset, a way to stand firm in chaos. Stoicism doesn't make life easier, it makes you unstoppable. In this video, we'll dive deep into 8 Stoic principles to forge your mind, emotions, and soul. No empty hype. Real talk. Real change. Each principle is drawn from raw Stoic truth, tested in ancient Roman wars and still potent today. Before we start, I need you to commit. If you're serious about self-mastery, don't just watch like it's another motivational clip. This isn't background noise, it's your wake-up call. Hit like on this video now. Comment when a principle strikes deep. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Most importantly, don't skip a single part. One missed principle could cost you clarity or courage when you need it most. Let's dive in. First, embrace discomfort like a brother. Society tells us to flee pain, but Stoics charge toward it, eyes wide open. Think of your greatest growth. Was it during easy, cozy times, or when life hit hard? And you chose to rise or fall. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, illness, yet led with calm. He didn't shy from discomfort. He welcomed it to forge himself. The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. That's not poetry, it's law. Every challenge sharpens your will. Every delay tests patience. Every rejection teaches resilience. Modern life says, avoid pain. Stoicism whispers, train to face it. Cold rain, tough talks, grueling workouts when exhausted. These are where your character is forged. Stoics believed choosing controlled discomfort prepares you for life's chaos. When the storm hits, you're ready. Seneca slept on floors, ate simply, dressed plainly, not to punish, but to train. Why? So when life strips comfort away, you're unshaken, you're prepared. Discomfort isn't your enemy, it's your mirror. It reveals who you are and, more crucially, who you're becoming. We dodge small pains today, only to face greater ones tomorrow. But face the fire with awareness, and something extraordinary happens. You stop fearing pain. That's the dawn of freedom. From now on, see discomfort as your training ground. It may bruise, but it builds you. Pick a small challenge today. Cold shower, tough talk, enduring boredom, and act. Remind yourself this is where warriors are forged. The only path to invincibility is to stop running. I want you to write this in the comments. Discomfort is my training ground. Second, don't let emotions rule you. How often do your feelings hijack your day? Someone's rude, and you're enraged. Plan shift. and your mood follows. You feel lazy. Skip the gym. Neglect work. Abandon discipline. It's not just you, we all face this. But here's the hard truth. If emotions control you, you're their slave. Stoics believed enslavement to feelings is worse than chains on your wrists. Epictetus, once a slave turned Stoic master, said, "Anyone who angers you becomes your master. They only upset you when you let them. Chew on that. The driver cutting you off you gave them your peace. That breakup you gave it your identity. That rude comment online you gave it your joy." Stoicism doesn't tell you to ignore emotions. It teaches you to observe, understand, and respond, not react on impulse. A child rages. A Stoic sits in the storm and thinks. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, wrote in his private journal, now called Meditations, "If you're pained by external things, it's not the things, but your judgment of them, and you can reject that judgment any time." That's a power we rarely discuss, the power to stay unmoved by what doesn't deserve your energy. Yes, it's harsh, because you can't blame others anymore. You can't say, "He made me mad," or "She ruined my day." You must own it. Your reaction is your choice. But here's the strength. You can choose differently. You're not a slave to emotions. You can be angry yet not act on it. You can fear yet still move forward. You can grieve without drowning in it. That's emotional mastery. That's Stoic freedom. Next time you're triggered, pause. Don't act yet. Breathe deeply. Ask, is this emotion useful now? Respond with intention. This isn't about being numb. It's about being in command. When emotions no longer sway you, you become clear, calm, unshakable. People notice that strength. You're no longer tossed by trivial things. You stand firm. In today's emotionally chaotic world, that stability is rare. It's magnetic, unstoppable. True growth begins when you stop being a puppet and become a master. Third, stop expecting fairness. Life owes you nothing. The fastest way to suffer is to demand fairness from the world. Let that sink in. You work hard, but the slacker gets promoted. You love deeply, yet they leave. You do right and still get punished. Anger rises. It's not fair. But here's the Stoic truth. Fairness is a myth we invented, not a law of the universe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You commit injustice by doing nothing." Evenhe, a Roman emperor, saw unfairness daily. Instead of whining, blaming, or despairing, he leaned into an unshakable truth. Life isn't about fairness, it's about strength. Stoics never expect life to treat them kindly. They brace for pain, loss, betrayal, and change. Be honest, fairness is a beautiful idea, but it can weaken you if you cling to it. When you say, "This isn't fair," you're really saying, "I don't like this feeling and won't face it." But here's the law: you don't grow by expecting fairness. You grow by facing reality and moving forward regardless. Look around. Good people face bad outcomes. Villains sometimes win. Effort isn't always rewarded. That's not pessimism. It's life. And here's what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. The average man waits for fairness. The Stoic builds inner strength so nothing external can break him. This doesn't mean you become cold or detached. It means you stop waiting for the world to treat you well and start treating yourself well. no matter what the world does. Seneca said, "Sometimes, just to live is an act of courage, especially when life seems unfair. Instead of complaining, turn pain into fuel. Hone your skills until no one can deny you. Love deeply without needing reciprocation. Face betrayal and walk on with dignity." The Stoic approach is absolute responsibility, not because every fault is yours, but because you're always the one who acts. You can't control life's blows, but you can control your response. That warrior-like calm makes you unbreakable. Fairness isn't promised, but freedom is earned through every strong choice. Fourth, focus only on what you control. Let go of the rest. Stoics believe true power lies in the narrow sphere you command. Everything else, release it. Epictetus put it plainly, "Make the best of what's in your power and take the rest as it comes." Here's the trap most fall into. They try to control others, predict the future, obsess over outcomes, then wonder why they feel anxious, helpless, angry. Let's break it down. What's truly in your control? Your thoughts, choices, actions, reactions. The rest, others' opinions, opportunities, uncertainty aren't. You can't control the weather, but can choose what to wear. You can't control if people like you, but can control how you treat them. You can't control the economy, but can control your learning, spending, preparation. This shift is massive. It hands your power back instead of letting external forces pull you apart. You stand firm, focused on your actions. Picture yourself in a storm at sea. A Stoic doesn't curse the wind, he grabs the helm and steers. That's how you stay calm when others panic. You focus when others complain. Stay disciplined when others stray. It's not about pretending the outside world doesn't matter. It's about choosing what deserves your care. Most of what people stress over is beyond their control. Here's a simple practice. When stressed, ask, "Is this in my control?" If yes, act. If not, let go. Easy, no. Powerful, absolutely. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. Live by it, and others notice. You become unshakable, not because you control everything, but because you master yourself, no matter what happens. Fifth, embrace voluntary hardship to build unbreakable will. In a world addicted to comfort, discipline is your superpower. Stoics don't wait for life to test them, they test themselves first. Not to suffer, but to forge, not to punish, but to prepare. Seneca wrote, "Set aside days where you're content with the simplest, cheapest conditions, with rough clothing, asking, 'Is this what I feared?' This is voluntary hardship, a choice to train your mind to stand firm under pressure. Think about it. Most men today avoid discomfort at all costs. They never skip meals, never sit in silence, never forgo luxury. But when life gets tough, they crumble, they panic, they blame. Stoics, though, have trained for hard days. They've faced hunger, exhaustion, rejection, boredom, struggle. This doesn't make them invincible, it makes them resilient. You don't build will by watching motivational videos. You build it by deliberately doing what you don't want to do. Voluntary hardship looks like this: fast for 24 hours to prove you control your cravings. Take a cold shower when your mind screams, No. Say no to a luxury you can afford to sharpen restraint. Wake early to train when your body begs to stay in bed. These small choices stack up, and over time, you become formidable, not cruel to yourself, but aware of a truth. Comfort doesn't make you stronger. Challenge does. When hardship comes, as it always will, you don't flee. You smile, because you've walked through fire by choice. Marcus Aurelius ruled through plague, war, betrayal, yet wrote with calm clarity why hardship wasn't a shock, it was what he trained for. Stop asking, how do I make life easier? Ask, how do I become tougher? Train in hunger, solitude, cold, fatigue, rejection, boredom, and stay focused through it all. One day, life will throw more than you think you can handle, and you'll rise. Sixth, let go of outcomes. Love the process, not the prize. We're taught to obsess over results, landing the job, winning the deal, hitting goals, earning money, gaining admiration. Stoicism flips this. Release the outcome and master your process. Why results are never guaranteed, but your effort is always in your control. Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It comes when you let go of what's beyond your control. Clinging to outcomes sets you up for pain. A week in the gym with no abs. You quit. A project fails. You feel worthless. Love someone. They leave. You break. But what if you fell in love with the work itself, showing up, writing, building, thinking, learning, striving? That's the Stoic path. When you focus on the process, you always win, even if the outcome falls short. And here's the twist. Letting go of needing results often leads to better ones, because desperation fades. You're not swayed by emotions or others' judgments. You stand firm in your actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, don't let the future disturb you. If you must face it, use the same reason you wield against the present. Don't obsess over what might be fierce in doing the work now. If you're a writer, write not for fame, but to sharpen your mind. If an athlete, train not just to win, but to master your body. If building something, build not for applause, but for pride in your effort. Tying your worth to outcomes makes you fragile, but tying it to discipline, will, and focus makes you unstoppable. Adopt the Stoic mindset. Show up as if the outcome is already won, and simply relish the process. Win or lose. Plus, you've already won by doing the work. Seventh, embrace death. Live with urgency and purpose. Most men live like they'll never die. They waste time, delay dreams, stay stuck in bad habits or toxic relationships. Stoics reflect on death not to be grim, but to wake up. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that shape what you do. Say, think. That's not fear, it's freedom. It's realizing life is short, and you don't choose when it ends. Every wasted moment is gone forever. Let that hit you. You can't wait for someday. You can't keep saying later. You can't assume tomorrow is guaranteed. Stoics, practice memento mori. Remember you will die. Not to be pessimistic, but to stay sharp, present, intentional. When you truly grasp, your time is limited. You stop wasting it. No more scrolling for hours, arguing over nonsense, tolerating mediocrity, you start creating, loving, acting. Now, not later. Seneca said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste so much of it." You can't control how long you live, but you can control how deeply you live. The biggest lie is that you have plenty of time. You don't. The risk you avoid, the work you delay, the person you'll forgive, the change you swear you'll make next year. This is your moment. This is your time. Stoics don't flinch from death. They stare it down and say, "You won't catch me asleep in my life." That awareness doesn't make you anxious. It makes you alive. Those who truly remember death speak honestly, love sincerely, work with duty, let go of ego, and fear no failure. Because the greatest failure is a wasted life. Live like your time is borrowed, because it is. Do this, and you become magnetic, focused, powerful. You don't chase cheap validation. You act with purpose. Others feel it. You feel it. Be a warrior for virtue, not approval. Most men live for likes, praise, attention. But a Stoic acts for virtue, not the crowd. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you do what's right, the rest doesn't matter. Live with honor, even unseen. Speak truth, even without applause. Keep your word, even at a cost. Train hard, even unwatched." That's virtue. That builds a soul no one can buy. It's not perfection, it's principle. The hardest part, doing right, is often the toughest choice. Lying is easier. Impressing is easier than honesty. Chasing approval is easier than standing alone. But every time you choose right over easy, you sharpen your character. You become the man your future self will respect. You forge an identity no one can steal. Seneca reminds us, live as if the world sees one part and reads the rest. That's power. A life that doesn't crack under pressure because it's built on integrity. In a world of facades, the Stoic is authentic. In a noisy world, the Stoic is calm. In a world of performance, the Stoic is real. To be unbreakable, don't live for praise, live for your values. Live so that even if you lose status, wealth, followers, you walk tall. Once you stop needing the crowd, you become the man they follow. Be a warrior for what's right, not what's popular. Even if you walk alone, walk like it's the only path that matters. If you've made it this far, something in you is ready to grow. Leave behind distraction, weakness, emotional chaos, and step into something greater. Not perfection, but strength. Not domination, but self-mastery. That's the Stoic path. This path doesn't offer ease, it offers clarity. It gives direction. It builds a life of meaning, even if the world around you crumbles. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. They didn't write for a soft world. They wrote to survive storms, battles, betrayal, and death with dignity. They taught that true strength isn't in muscles or money, but in the man who keeps his word, the woman who faces fear unflinching, the soul that does right when it's hardest. You don't need motivation. You don't need a perfect moment. You just need to start now. Train your mind. Prepare for hardship. Let go of clinging to outcomes. Hold fast to principle. Live like your time is running out, because it is. The beauty is, you don't need applause. You don't need praise. You don't need to be understood. On the Stoic path, you become unbreakable from within. That strength is rare. That's the truth. And it's yours to claim. I want you to write this in the comments. I am becoming unbreakable every day. If this message hits you, if something in you ignites, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video. Comment your favorite principle. Share it with someone on their journey. And subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of thinkers, warriors, and honest men who want more than noise. They want purpose. And don't skip any part of life. It's all training. It's all transformation. Keep showing up. Keep choosing strength. And don't stop until you're unbreakable.